Oh my goodness, I've been live for 43 seconds and I didn't know. I don't know when I hit that button. That's hilarious. All right. NewsFlash. Death cleaning for Venus Callida. Yet the May Venus Callida has been found alive. Cleaning. Let me explain. Okay, I want to do a deep dive on cleaning. I meant to do this earlier, but I was so into the focus of just like expressing what I was getting done and what I was going to do to keep myself motivated because I am at the 50% mark and I'm on day 4 of the cleaning. Although, to be honest, if I didn't have the business meetings making me leave early, I probably would be farther along by now. And I'm finding myself in that place where, like, when a writer has writer's block, I've got cleaning block. And I'm really not trying to procrastinate. It's just that I'm at that point where I keep changing my mind about what I'm going to do with the placement of the intentional placement of furniture between the living room, dining room, and kitchen. The kitchen being too small to hold all the things that I have that are necessary to keep, and I'm debating throwing some of that stuff out because I can't donate it, or salvaging my grandparents' hutch with the chairs and the tea trolley from my other grandmother that I use as the dining table for it. Uh, Giving up my ladies' lounge wall. It's a very small space, but it's a cute little vignette. And what to do with my living room. And I'm really adamant, I'm very comfortable with the way I've spaced and placed my computer area, although if I had like the money to have an L shaped or a rainbow shaped, I would then move it, but I don't need more space and I like to have the buffer of the sound proofing. So I'm at this point. But let me tell you what I have done. So I did my little bit of shopping. And I did spend a little bit of money. So I'd say in doing your very first deep clean in your own homes. Now I've got a 2-bedroom apartment with a balcony to gauge this with, and a storage closet, which I did actually pull everything out, clean the floors in, put everything back in. Tried to do a little mindfully, and I am keeping more empty boxes just for the moment because I haven't finished organizing everything. Till I finish organizing everything, clean boxes that don't have any like mildew, bends, breaks are worth just in case until I'm finished. Now I'm down to 3 rooms because, well, here you see me in the lobby. I just came back from getting my mail, and I have re-swiffered the lobby one more time. I have gone down on my hands and knees to get all the baseboards, especially the corners in the lobbies, done. The only section I skipped is the very main entrance rug with the very main entrance floor. It's just like a little 3x3 spot, like a little box hallway sort of. But I'm leaving it for now until I'm going to do the descenting using the Arm & Hammer baking soda on all of my movable carpets, and then I'm going to do a final vacuum of them. So, but the topical vacuuming was done earlier today. I have got an extension cord, which was one of my purchases from Canadian Tire. It is a surge protection, like an over outage power surge kind of protection. Again, it's from Mastercraft. Mastercraft has a lot of stuff in this hardware store. It's everywhere. Maybe it's the big new thing. But I love the wall mountable versions, and the one in this room is wall mountable so that all of those wires to connect everything I use to do all my shows and streaming and gaming at the same time. So many wires. And I can keep them off the ground so that I can come through with a vacuum cleaner. That's just a little hack I want to give you guys to keep this area done. And before I did anything else, I did actually use those wet wipes to disinfect, clean down all of my surfaces in my computer area. And I have to say, since I've been doing all of this on day 4, it's nearing. I say we're 2/3 through the day of day 4 of my deep clean, and it looks like the dust has found its way back. So I have all my medicine bottles and all my beverages and my fruits. I've got nectarines and 1 apricot waiting for me, and I should eat them. I don't usually buy these anymore because the price of food is so expensive. So every week I only buy like a couple of things, maybe even 1 per day sometimes. In this case, I got excited and I got 2 of each. And I want to eat them before they go bad. just wiping one down right now. Nectarine. They're just little. They look so lovely. Kind of like this hallway. They've got this like kind of bright burning orange with the reds, reddish yellow tones, making them look just so like glowy, beautiful. And nothing I like more than wood that smells fresh and clean. And I'm about ready to mop with Pine Sol, and I really like the smell of Pine Sol. Pine Sol even has scented flavors now. If you need lavender to make your space feel like heavenly and relaxing while you clean, that's a bit of aromatherapy right there. I personally like the citrus. I love orange citrus, or mint. I love spearmint, of course, and tea tree oil and eucalyptus and all that, but I go for mint when it comes to this stuff, or just the regular Pine Sol. I like it. I don't know why, but I do. And that's the next thing to happen in here. So I've got the computer, but I haven't set it up yet because the extension cord is now in the other room. I've moved things around in there. I bought little car, they look like flip-flops. But there's two kinds of flip-flops out there that are car like scent stuff. So just for now, like usually I use aromatherapy. I know this is fake stuff, but just because I'm going to have guests over, I've got a blue one, which is like the ocean smell, in the blue corner of my feature room. And I've got a pink flip-flop with a cherry flavor. It's so nice. And I've got that in the black room in the red corner. Because again, even though it's a black and white room, I'm finding tiny ways to represent the feng shui of those corners. And so I've got it in the pink to red corner there. And I've got red. I got window clings from a dollar store of maple leaves because that's the cheapest thing, because Canada Day is coming up on July the 1st. And can you believe we're in the last day of May tomorrow? I cannot believe it. This year's flying right by, guys. And I put the clings, the tiny red maple leaf clings, which are like jellies, but they're kind of see-through too, onto the window glass of my 2 silver lanterns. There's just enough to do the 2 panes of glass facing into the room. Now again, this is because the window is in the red zone of the black and white room. That way it's not predominant. It's behind the drapes, actually using the lanterns to hold down the underside of the drapes, so that I've got like a, if you guys ever remember bubble skirts, it's kind of like balloon draping. It's so that it's not hard and symmetrically perfectly squared. At the bottom is kind of balloony, but all of the edges are actually tucked onto the windowsill. And I put my solar lamps and my solar powered lights and my lanterns on that, so you just get a tiny little splash of red color coming from the red zone and the pink flip-flop in the pink zone on the black end table. Pink as a highlight with black, actually I think it looks pretty cool. I've seen it done in a lot of graduation ceremonies. I think it's pretty. It's nice. And so why this deep clean in the first place? Well, I was sick for 5 weeks and I had 3 different things happening, making it so hard to breathe. I thought I was going to die at one point, and I'm not exaggerating. I wasn't able to take air in, and I had to cough with my stomach muscles squeezing my lungs to make them move to cough out. And I went from the doctor's office to the dentist's office to the dentist telling me to go to the emergency room to get on an IV until the meds he supplied for me kicked in, which is like horse pills. They're like a third of the size of my pinky, but they worked. And I took the last one this morning, so I'm hoping I don't ever relapse. But okay, here's why the deep clean and why people do it twice a year, those that really do it. Now, if you're a homemaker, you might be doing this once a month. I don't know. But I'd say once seasonally, like every 3 to 4 months, like a quarterly, I think would actually be worth it if you had the time to do it or the help. Because if you would have made it like a deep clean party, and we're going to talk about this, the Swedish death cleaning cultural ritual. We're going to talk about it because viruses and bacteria are present everywhere. And with the coronavirus and these different payback flus and stuff that are always like, since the pandemic, there's always more. We need to get a handle on the microscopic stuff that affects our health in our own home, because our home should be a safe place. And we should have safe air to breathe too. We don't want to have risk of catching contagious illnesses and infections. And if anybody out there has had little kids or your teachers of little kids, kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2, that's like the hotspot for anything you catch is going to be respread and respread and respread and keep coming back into your house, keep coming back into the classroom. And since COVID, that's even worse. So we have to keep it safe. Regular cleaning, although I know people do say, I clean. I'm always like, keep my things mindfully or whatever. Or you have a bad day or you have a bad week, but then you get everything back in order again. But topical cleaning isn't always sufficient. And so the deep cleaning is needed to make sure that we have a healthy breathing space in our home. And especially if you've got someone with asthma in your family, this would be so helpful for them too. Deep cleaning and regular house cleaning, they're not the same thing. We can vacuum our floors, we can wipe our surfaces, we can mop things, we can Swiffer things, we can keep organizing and get rid of the things that our eyeballs see as visual trash, or if you don't see through your eyes but you have to touch by hand to clean. If it's not a chunk of something that's sitting there like a crumb, we think it's fine. But deep cleaning removes dirt, grime, bacteria, and germs. So when I'm reading the labels on those chemical cleaners, and that's stuff that I really love, Microban, I'm telling you it works. I survived the plague quarter of Paris before, or of France before COVID hit, and I didn't get COVID at all, but I used Microban. I'm so happy to see it in Canada because originally I could only find it in Europe. Now, what I noticed doing my deep clean is the reason why I have more laundry, even though I did the first 2 days of deep clean with laundry, is because what I'm doing is I took down all the drapes. I took off all of my wraps or throws or like cloth tablecloths, cloth table placemats. And when you like tap it, if you look closely, dust poofs out of it a little bit, or like dander or something, but it's dust, which really is our dried skin cells, guys. That's what dust is, and our hair follicles. And so you could see it. And so even though it looks topically clean, there's no stains, we didn't spill anything on it, there's no food crumbs, it's up on a wall or over a table that is just for vignettes and people don't eat at that table all the time, it's just for special occasions. It collects the dust, and anybody who's been openly sneezing or coughing, it's going to collect all, it's going to sit in there. So that's what the deep cleaning is for, to get rid of all of that. And well, I can't believe it's taken me the better part of a business week to do this. And I know if you have like a cleaning party, some people have like mother-in-law, mom comes over and helps you, your sister comes over, helps you, your best friend. Maybe not, will come over and help you. You play some music, you have some nice food for your snacks and your lunch breaks or your dinner at the end of the day. You could get so much done. But I'm doing this by myself, so instead of 1 day with 3 people, I've got me for 3 days doing it. Plus, I left early twice for business stuff. But no more business stuff, and I'm planning to swim tomorrow, so let's get to it. So, things that I've been doing, and also I'll confirm or deny whatever. Say so. We want to kill the viruses, and when we read Microban, when you read Lysol, they tell you how many percentages of, and there's just 9K stuff out there too. It's really good that hospitals use. It really does matter when it says it's going to kill off the stuff that becomes the mold, that becomes the mildew, that becomes the stuff that we breathe in. Even though everything looks clean, and we did topically clean, but it's just not enough to make our air safe. So dirt particles that accumulate in your home increase your chances of being infected with a virus or bacteria in your lungs. And viruses and bacteria can survive for days on a surface. Can you imagine that? Someone walks through your house and sneezes. It's still there unless you wipe it down, man. Get it wiped down. If your body's regularly exposed to them, your immune system has to work even harder to keep you healthy. So if you've got anyone in your family with compromised immune system, or you have someone you know is visiting from your family that has a compromised immune system, you got to clean that stuff down. And your body and your immune system, as we know from me, 5 weeks of bronchitis, and that which snared up sinusitis for the first time in my life, and I've acquired asthma, which I didn't have as a kid. Usually when you get it as a little kid, you grow out of it in your teen years. In my case, I didn't have it in my teen years, and now I have it. Thanks. Yeah. But I've been under prolonged stress, which also broke down my immune system. And then you become ill. So periodic cleaning helps you get rid of toxins, and it gives your immune system a break. It gives your lungs and your heart a break. And so regularly cleaning keeps certain things less hazardous, like it keeps bugs away, but to get rid of germs, you've got to deep clean. And look, I went through with sweepers and sponge mops, and I still couldn't get the grime out of the corners of the rooms, and I had to get down on my hands and knees and scrub that stuff, and then wipe it, and then dry it by hand to get the black out. And we need that, because also if you're someone who plans on selling your house or like leasing your condo or something, you need that stuff to be taken care of. All right. All of this, what I can confirm, it improves your air quality. I am sleeping better. I'm falling asleep a little more easily. Also feeling good about the fact that everything looks good, everything looks new again, and I'm reusing mainly all the stuff I already have, but in a new way, a new configuration, and I feel really good about it. But I'm breathing easier. If you guys have noticed, my voice is not quite back. But I'm not coughing as much. I was hacking up a lung. It was horrible to listen to me. And my creepy laugh. I don't know. It's still creepy. But when it's a real, genuine laugh, it sounds more like me. Now, especially if you have pets, this is important. Poor indoor air quality causes diseases and infections in not just your humans, but your lovely pets. And we know we love them more than some of our humans. And you can get flu-like symptoms, including dry, watery eyes, painful throat, runny nose, just because of low air quality. Germs in your air, in your airspace. And we can't see it. It's not that we're being little piggies, but even if we do try, there could be something in the air. So when you're exposed to allergens for a long time, you develop respiratory problems like asthma. Me, and I do clean, and I keep windows open, but there's a lot of traffic that goes by, so stuff does settle in. So we do need to have that cleaner space. We've got to get that dust. We can't leave it. Also, and I can confirm this, by doing a deep clean, you are reducing stress and improving your mood. I'm feeling happier, actually. A tidy home helps you alleviate stress. Deep cleaning, even if just once every 3 months, that's what's recommended. If you can, it revitalizes your space. You feel welcomer into a quieter and healthier environment. By resetting my drapes and my shears, actually, I do have a cooler, and by putting the drapes in front of the mirror walls, it is actually cooler, which is good for the summertime. An organized and clean environment improves your daily mood. I do feel good about it, because there's nothing looming over my head. Oh, I have to get to that later. Oh, I have to get to that later. I have to get to that later. And then something is rotten through. Something's ruined because something's settled that you didn't want settled. It's gross. It's really gross when you have to deal with goo or goop, or something you cared about gets just too neglected, and you have to toss it. Without deep cleaning, it's impossible to get clean, a clutter-free, organized home. Honestly, why it took me so long to get the feature room mainly done. Oh, and I did also fix the fastening of the art wire into the center of the mirror wall, so that it's not coming down anywhere. Done. The last thing I have to do is paint the 2 patches that are very phallic looking in the purple zone. But other than that, it's down to organizing now. But most of the drawers have intentional things in them, each its own kind, and I just have one laundry basket left to go through. And again, have very few hangers left. I'm going to be starting to decide what I'm keeping, what I'm tossing. But that's not a cleaning issue. Those are all freshly laundered things. So it's organization. So I'm leaving it. It's an organized, folded in one hamper in that room, ready to go. But as I do this, I kept having to go take things out to toss, to donate to the magic hallway of the apartment building for other people in need, or to find a new home for it. And my living room, dining room became my refugee area, but I have to say, I'm kind of re-loving my dining room lady lounge area, as much as it is not a usual space. But then I'm not my grandmother, and I'm not having 12 people over for Christmas. So it doesn't have to be. It's just a functional space where I sit to feel cool while I talk to people on the phone. And it looks pretty, and I put my beverages there. Beverages that are not water. That's all I'm going to say about it. And that's nice. But with the mindfulness and the placement of things, I would not put back into the room that was deep cleaned anything that didn't belong there according to my feng shui and also my actual basic needs. I needed a bed. I needed at least one side table to hold stuff. And I needed my dresser drawers for the stuff I put in my drawers. And that's it. That's all I needed. And the floor space around walking, very nice. But I'm actually amazed how good I was because it was actually motivated. Usually I hoard. It's very hard for me to let go of things with emotional ties or memories. Saving my family photos, but I'm not necessarily saving the furniture anymore. I've let go of what I could let go of, and the rest is still here. A little piece from each of my grandmothers, my granddad. Both my granddads actually have a piece from each of them, and my parents. And other than that, I actually have a fair space in the middle of my living room beside where I have my office that I can move around in, and maybe I'll start doing my dance kicks across the floor again and just exercise that way, because I could still kick my ear with my knee. I mean, it's not a good thing to have happen when you're on a stage in front of lots of people, but to knock yourself out, but I could still do it. And I have a trampoline and a knitting putty set. I don't know. I might do something whimsical in here instead of make it a living room. Meh. I don't know yet. We'll figure that out later. But I can confirm it's reduced my stress. It's improved my mood because I've not just decluttered my physical space. I've decluttered my mind. Things that things that came from an ex, like stuffed animals, I fed to my dog. And you'll see I made a meme about that. Very good dog beheaded them all. And well, he had fun for a day. And it served a purpose. It served its time. We're not in each other's lives anymore, so now that's tossed. Yay, doggy go. And I got rid of one more storage box, so I have less things that don't fit in my storage unit closet. And I'm looking at the bags that I have. They're less full. They used to be super full, and they're really not. So I could probably reduce how many bags of stuff I'm keeping. But then I am debating one major purchase. So as I'm doing all of this, I'm also thinking about the tiny things that make the difference. So like the tiny flip-flop air freshener. They were built for a carpet. Why not put them in your bedroom if it works, if it smells nice? If it bothers you, if the smell bothers you, put it back in your car. But I'm just doing an experiment to see, because it was just a couple of bucks. And I know that when you're tight on money, a couple of bucks matters, but I'm mostly buying things from the dollar store to finish all the patching of anything that needs to be fixed, if I can fix it, for those spaces. And if not, I've actually let go of some of the stuff that's sat here since I moved in here to be fixed. Things I just can't part with that I can't figure out how to fix yet or haven't had the time to fix yet. When I get to the room it's supposed to live in, I'm going to decide once for all there. Also, in having deep cleaned my bathroom cabinet, I got rid of all of the old medicines. I used to keep medicine bottles so that in case I was asked by a doctor or dentist what I had been on for something, I could tell them what it was. But I'm letting go of that too now. It's not relevant anymore, so I'm getting rid of that. And so things that were the to-do list, that to-do list has gone away or been reduced greatly. Less things on my mind stressing me out that I have to get to later eventually or find the money to fix later, but I'm not in the mind of replacing the thing if I toss it, if I have no need, if it was given by someone else to me, unless it's something like connected to someone who's passed, I'm letting it go. All right. Help save time and money. Well, I ended up I was thinking about putting money aside as a budget to get a maid to help me when I was really, really sick, to have some help. Because I was, as being very sick and feeling sorry for myself, also feeling very lonely, and just wanted someone else to come in and do it. And now I'm not doing it. And if I compare what I would have spent for a maid to help me for a half a day, and then feel ashamed about my dishes swimming in the sink, for example. And I don't like other people doing my laundry anyways. So it did save me money. Did it save me time? No, I'm doing this because this is my staycation, and instead of doing something to serve my inner child, I'm being a grown-up and adulting. But I mean, it kept me home, so it saved me time on the road, wasting gas, risking being in an accident. Because it was raining so badly the first 2 days, and because this pool I like to swim at is closed up until tomorrow. It's only open now on Fridays through Sundays. It used to also be open on Mondays this time of year. So I might as well use my time productively, and it's like mini exercising. I mean, it's not the kind of exercise that I would lose any weight. But it did help me strengthen some of my muscles. I think that counts for something, because my muscles, being up on ladders for 2 days, were cramping. Money. I saved money also because I'm being very frugal with what I will buy. Like, I did need the extension cord with the surge protection because we do have blackouts around here a lot. We're in Tornado Alley, and whenever we have these storms, that's a potential thing, and I do want to protect my computers. And now setting up the old computer to see if I could finish off all those shower relaxation videos people have been wanting that I planned way back in January. Maybe I'll finally get them out, get them done, and also hand in all my coursework that's on that computer if I can get it out of there. And I might become a therapist, guys. I'm actually studying to improve what I do for you in my relaxation videos. Certain ones are because of things I was learning in the course. So paying attention to all your comments and feedback for which things work and not for you. What I will say, though, is save me money in a different way. So you know how sometimes something falls off of things and you don't know what it's from, or something fell off of something. It could be an end cap to a curtain rod. It could be the little foot of your keyboard. It could be like a little bobble thing that actually like sits on like a pokey part of your chair, and you don't know where it went. But when you do the deep clean, you find it. And if you can put these things assembled, rather than at some point if you leave it and you can't find it because you know you have to move furniture to get at it, when you do the deep clean, you got to move all your stuff. You got to clean underneath every piece of furniture you're putting back in the room so that there's no cobwebs, hair, dust bunnies, anything. Like I really did flip anything I could move upside down or on its side to get underneath with it and clean those floors, sweep, Swiffer, vacuum as I need, and before I replaced things. So this is taking time, but saving money in that. You find the pieces and you put them back together again. You don't toss it out after it sits there for months missing a piece and it drives you nuts, so you throw it away. You put it back together and you still have it. You clean it, you have it for the purpose you need it, then you don't have to find money for the thing that you need for the service it provides you in your home. So in that way, I have saved some money, which is really great. And I've reassembled things back to their proper condition, even better. So yeah, I've spent, let's say, less than $50 on the intentional stuff like cleaning stuff, by rewashing my rags and reusing them for all my spray bottles of stuff. Like that's also helped reduce the cost. And I've only bought pieces to help me finish the rooms. Not knickknacks, not decorations, but like to put up the picture properly, to do the patchwork, to affix something to something else, and I'm going to be like painting in certain things. But let me see what else. So the room scent things, the cleaner stuff, and the odd thing here or there anyways, just to finish assembling what needed to be fixed or reassembled or repaired. And to be honest, half of what I bought were beverages to keep me going. Nice cold beverages, including water. I paid a little more for smart water to balance my system. So, and found all the lonely socks, and they all reunited. Now, I can't talk about the kitchen right now, but your kitchen needs to be extra cleaned. You got that oven, you've got that freezer, you've got that fridge. You've got underneath the freezer and fridge, and those are the last two things I'm ever going to do because I'm scared. And I'm going to bribe someone to come and use their muscles to move those things because since I moved in, I've never gotten under them. And although I try to use the vacuum, little skinny elephant nose part of a hand vacuum to try to get in there, I have no proof that the people who lived here before me did it. Probably not, because people are lazy, and the people who are the property managers, they didn't do it. So I'm scared, but at least I've never seen any bugs crawl through my kitchen, because I would die. So I'm trying to be as clean as I can from what I can reach, but this deep clean, yeah, it's not going to happen tomorrow, but maybe I'll do it on Saturday or Sunday. One of those 2 days, it will happen. The deep clean is going to basically be on pause for one day and then finish on the weekend. And you won't hear me ever do this again. But I thought at least once I would try this little mini series just as a way to talk to you guys in live time. And also the other thing is, when I first moved in here in my first year, I kept things pristine. And I had all the furniture for my grandparents and my grandmother's youngest brother, who, when he passed during COVID, he was my closest uncle. And he was one of the bee farmers with my grandmother. Growing up, he worked for Billy Bee. He always gave me fresh honey. I have his last honey. And just like I had my grandmother's last peaches, and I had one of my grandfather's last wines that they ever made themselves. And all the things they gave me so that I could have a dowry. According to our culture, we should have a dowry that includes the furniture that fills the home. And I kept my place so pristine, and no one would come and visit me. Because, see, also I moved in here during COVID, and no one was visiting anybody through COVID. So for the first 2 years, it looked awesome and proper and old-fashioned proper, I'll say. But good wood, good carpentry. Classy, simple, classy, elegant. And then I got mad that nobody would visit me, and I started using the rooms unconventionally. I made my costume production sewing room with the makeup center vanity for my wigs and makeups and stuff, and steam room, and I kept all my laundry in there so it wouldn't bother my good clean clothes in my bedroom. And I'm sort of giving it up a little bit, but not really. I'm actually impressed with how I was able to, by being mindful in the reorganization of the cupboard and the buckets and stuff for organization, that it's not too bad in there. I take a couple of hours still, should be worked on in there, but for now, it's all good and in the holding pattern. I just have to set up that computer, and I'm going to wait until my guests are coming over before I launder and set the beds. But everything's in there. All the throw pillows are in there on the chairs, ready to go, Shishimumu style. So what's left is the steam cleaning in of the mattresses and the pillows. And, and the vacuuming of the rugs one more time. All that I'm going to do later. But my house is presentable. If someone were to show up right now out of nowhere without calling first... Oh, because my brother's starting to visit with his son, who's my godson, and my dad's come by a couple times, and I want to invite my bestie up, and I've got reunion of some of my oldest friends in the world that know all my business that's not been recorded by Facebook or Twitter or anything. I'm glad that I didn't like technology, and I was an outdoor girl until COVID forced me indoors onto my butt to gain weight in order to earn a paycheck. Bitterness. But I'm glad I'm finding things are open and back outside as much as I can be when I'm not here playing with you guys. Which I don't resent at all, by the way. But that reunion's happening, and it's presentable. I've got 2 bedrooms, and people can walk in and sleep in right now. that I haven't messed up. And I'm still looking at what I've got left as my vignette. I'm having a hard time deciding the permanent placement. So I think what I might do tomorrow after my long swim, have a nap, is instead of doing anything for the deep clean, is I'm going to just reorganize all the paperwork, reduce, recycle, and the things that are most important, I'm going to line against the one wall and see if I can't cut this down by half. Yeah, just thinking about it. But I have a presentable house except for one wall of stuff. And listen, my friends who have known me the longest, who will be coming over here, they've seen how I've lived in some very frugal conditions in the middle of nowhere in the north. So, I promise you, I have a mattress now, and I have a Serta, which is a mattress building company, couch. That looks like a bed because I put the back down. They used to have to deal with my air mattresses and carpets with many layers of of sleeping bags, because I just knew I was a gypsy. I'm not going to invest in these places. So, and I always left behind what furniture, usually Rubbermaid drawers that I could give to somebody who could use them. I always did leave things behind for people in need and just took my essentials with me. So yeah, so that's a lot of my thinking about why what I did and why I made such a big deal out of it in this little series. Plus, I mean, I've been doing my cooking shows from their kitchens in this magical anime mansion. I am not done with it yet. I've got something planned, which is really silly to do because I think I don't feel like doing any cleaning today. Everything's so shiny and smelling so good that I'm getting cocky about this. I'm looking forward to my swimming tomorrow, but I haven't finished exploring this mansion. But I wanted to tell you about the Swedish death cleaning checklist. Okay, so if you're not Swedish and you've never heard of this, I'm not dead, but I'm doing a death cleaning of my home in this deep dive as I'm going. So it's a type of decluttering mindset. It's from the minimalist approach, and it helps you in the thinking of how to downsize your stuff, like your furniture, your clothing, your shoes, your kitchen essentials, which I know I'm gonna have to hit the kitchen real hard with this. I need to do that next week. We're gonna have a weekend, maybe my death cleaning, that episode, because the kitchen is my scariest place. So that horror show, maybe I'll save that for Monday. So you might see me in some maid costumes for a little bit longer than just today. Maybe 1 or 2 more days, because that's going to be the hardest. That's the scary area. And the Swedish death cleaning is the method that is suggested. So here's what it's about. It's from Scandinavian culture, so the Viking culture. Where you work on eliminating unnecessary items from your home. So there's lots of stuff that people have given me, for example, that I just feel guilty, and when they come over or I bring something that I show that I'm using it. But I feel like also that's a type of, you're kind of hijacked mentally, so that's a sort of trigger thing, and I want to unburden myself from it. So if you eliminate the actual unnecessary items you've got collecting in your home, no one's really using it, it's just taking up storage space, it's taking up space, so it's in your way, but it's not being used, so loved ones won't be burdened with the task after you pass. When I think about, so I have one box of goodies, you know what I'm talking about, and Hero Flame, just plug your ears, and I've labeled it, do not look, just toss. My brother and sister already understand what that means. They will not look unless they're going to be sorry, then they deserve to feel sorry of my little goodie box, because I'm a woman, and that's just, we deserve to have our fun. And I do keep all of my taxes and stuff for like 8 years, not 7. We're supposed to keep it for, I think, 7, but I do it for 8 just to be sure. And I actually keep it in binders, all that information in plastic sleeves in binders, and I've labeled them all. So there's a reason why I have one shelf of that stuff, so that if there's any questions for whoever, it's probably going to be my brother. I'm sorry, Magnus. And I've got my just in case I die check pinned up here as well for my brother, which he knows about, and so does his son. He was shocked. He's like, "You're giving me that?" And his son's like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, we were just trained by our families who come from different cultures to be ready to run. Always have your passport ready, have all your jewelry and your cash and your T4s or whatever. Keep it all in that one little luggage, grab it and run, and keep your baseball bat right beside it. Have no tattoos, distinguishing marks, don't wear pink hair, distinguishing marks. You want to be blend in and get away. It's nice to be not noticeable sometimes in public. Anyways, so I get this concept. The less they have to sort through, the less there is for them to fight over. And I hate to say, even if someone's only owns the family Bible when they pass, everyone fights over who gets it. It's like mean instead of loving. And so I get this idea. So also I've offered certain things, like I have my portable stove and 3/4 fridge in my storage unit. That takes up a good portion of it, but it has served me well. Fits inside my Jeep with a pops-on chair, and I'm off to the races with my luggage of clothing and whatever supplies. And it's gone all back and forth over the country with me. And my nieces and nephews are getting ready to go off to university. They might have their first homes or apartments. And why spend on Shishimumu stuff? You're a kid. Buy from IKEA and the dollar store. And here's this appliances. So you don't have to pay for appliances. If I had been able to buy a home, I would have just plugged these in and used them, because I always have. It's big enough to feed a couple of people at a time. And I don't need a giant fridge because I don't have children to feed, and I'm not going to feed a man. If he doesn't have a job, he can go away. Find someone who will pay for his company. I won't. So in the Swedish death cleaning, it's a very thorough organization method that edits everything from your furniture to your clothing and all the piles of documents. And even you can declutter your emails. That can take an hour or two, can't it? And especially with Microsoft trying to force us to buy more space, some of us are spending a couple of hours trying to go through and see what we can let go of. Even there. So, in the gentle art of Swedish death cleaning, which I think someone named Amy Poehler produced a show about it. It's about holding on to the things you really need, the things that you really want to keep, but also the things that you need to let go of. And the process isn't easy because people have emotional attachments, but if those things are triggering you in a negative way, get rid of it. I can confirm that it makes you feel a lot better as you go through your home. Because in your lifetime, it's very easy to gain clutter. And getting rid of the clutter is a big stress reliever. Also makes your air easy to breathe. They say to start with the closets. I actually did this. I just didn't mention this to you guys. I emptied the closets first and cleaned them out, up and down, washed out all of the shelving, the pipe that holds the hangers, and mopped the floors a couple of times before I restocked them. And in Feng Shui, you're not supposed to keep your books and papers in there where you sleep. It ruins your sleeping pattern. So I actually follow that because of Feng Shui. So it's interesting. The Asians have a way to do that, and so do the Swedish. But also, interesting fun fact, 11% of Swedish people have Genghis Khan's bloodlines in them, whether it's him or his men's. They were there, even though those people are blonde with blue eyes. Interesting. They were that... whatever Genghis Khan and his men did, that was very thorough. It's up there too. Maybe that's the link where it came from. I don't know. Can't prove it. It seems to link. Closets and drawers, they say, might be the easiest thing to organize, because they have to have purposeful reasons for containing what they're going to contain. And And for example, if you have two garments of the same color, same size, and you never wear them, get rid of at least one of them. You don't need them both if you're not wearing them every day. They say choose clothes that no longer fit. Get rid of them right away. Don't think about it. You can discard anything that's damaged, or you can donate them. And if you have a store called Talise around your area, if you knock on the door, don't just drop it in their bin, but during their business hours, if they're open, you ring that doorbell. When you give them, whether it's 1 bag or 20 bags, they'll give you a $5 discount card. So you collect those and you can go shopping in the store when there's something you actually need and upgrade yourself. They go through, wash everything that's donated and whatever's good they put on, and they resell it. And if you have a bulk of clothes to sort through, don't worry about how long it'll take. Start with a season of clothing and gradually work your way through your piles over the course of a few months, or even years if you must, like however long it takes, but do it. I have to confirm, 50% of my clothing stuff I gave to Talise. I used to give them to Salvation Army, but I don't see a bin like that around here. Not since COVID happened. A lot of those bins were taken away and didn't come back. So, but I do give them to Talise. And I do know that things like bras, if you have taken care of your bras and they're not stained, they're not ripped and damaged, women need bras. Women who don't have the money to buy. And because I used to be in a roller derby, fun fact, as a jammer, whenever we'd have tournaments, we would ask people to donate their bras as their price to enter in and watch our matches, and we would donate them to women's shelters, the Yellow Brick House that take women and children. And again, in Europe, I'd give them to the nuns, and they would send them to people who would need them. Maybe they need them. I don't know. I don't know what they wear under their house. Don't want to ask. But they would know who would be in need and get them out there. So that's something. Just for you guys to know, fun fact for you guys to know. See, at least I come up with some fun facts that are original to my knowledge from my experience in this world, and hopefully make these little rambles of mine a little more interesting for you. And I follow these decluttering rules actually for myself too. It's hard when you're like me or Rihanna, that singer. She once talked about how she has so many clothes because she never knows what size she's going to be. Her weight fluctuates so much, 10, 15 pounds at a time each week. I was like that all my life, because depending on how many sports I played in that week and how much time I had to eat something or just drank water, I would go up and down 15 to 20 pounds every single week all through my teenage years. Now is the first time in my life since my hemorrhaging episodes and getting that dealt with last July, before I started, when I decided I was going to finally do the VTubing thing, and I was watching Vox Akuma out there, marveling at him. I'm wanting an anime character that at least looked as good as him. I think I achieved that. I think I look pretty good, yeah. Because I had to spend a couple months in bed then to deal with it. I now fluctuate about 5 pounds up and down, but I'd like to have it do as less as possible because it does take a lot out of your system too, not knowing what to wear. So I do keep things in the size above and the size below my size, but I don't keep as many things as I used to. But it also makes me feel very good to know I'm fitting into jean shorts, for example, that I was wearing 3 years ago, and that the ones I bought at the beginning of this past summer to be trendy and also to just accept the size that I was and not beat myself up over it, which is a journey in itself of another show's time. I put them on yesterday to go to that meeting, and they were falling off my butt. They were going right down over my hips, and I'm like, yes, this is great. But I looked really shabby because of that. But anyways, so decluttering by your size, if you are a person like me who fluctuates week to week or month to month, keep a couple of things, like a week's worth of something bigger and a week's worth of something smaller, just so you can track and feel good when you have smaller and you may not have the money to buy new things yet. Because I don't mind wearing a baggy shirt. You can belt it up if you gain a waist, but I do mind having things being too tight, walking around in public with little kids looking at you. Anyways, so that's just my 2 cents on that. So the Swedish death cleaning is telling me to do something. I'm doing the opposite. It says start in your kitchen if you go room by room. Oh no, the kitchen's gonna be the last thing because that's gonna be my horror show. I hate my kitchen. Hate the kitchen. If I won millions of dollars, I would hire a gorgeous looking sushi chef to come a couple days a week. I would hire a gorgeous pool boy to be my like drink jockey. I would hire a nice little Italian lady to be my little extra grandma for my Sunday dinners. For all my cultural food and invite all my family over on Sundays. I would have a juice bar going. The pool boy can be in charge of the juice bar. We'll do that. He'll be my juicer boy. Shut up. Naughty. I'm being nice. I'm talking about my healthy, eating my food. And I would have a garden, definitely. I would make my whole front lawn a giant maze so that the people who park in front of the maze can't just simply walk up to my front door and bother me. You're going to take a safety flag of a color, and I'm going to have dead ends. Each dead end, I've got this planned. I actually drew this out once. Each dead end is a different theme of a garden. One of them will be like a Zen garden with the rocks, and there'll be a rake there for you. Some of them will have benches and like a little water fountain so you could drink. Some will have the kind of water fountain where you run through if you want to. Throw some pennies in and make some wishes. I'll collect that. Some of them along the way will have like grapevines and strawberry vines and also like foods and fruit trees so that if you're lost out there for a few hours trying to find my front door, you can at least eat and have water fountains in there and different, so you can have drinks of water. Don't worry, I won't be cheap on the piping. It'll be safe. And you just some lush little gardens in there, colorful gardens in there, fruit gardens, Bible garden. I'll do one of those even. I've designed one and built one for someone once, Bible garden. It's interesting stuff, what you can do with plants and symbolism. And if I feel like with my binoculars up on my widow's peak looking down that I want to save you, I could come out and guide you to how to get through the maze to get to my front door. I would do that. My brother would build a moat, but I would do the maze. Because I would laugh at your expense and not help you if I did not know who you are. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Like the corn mazes. Maybe no, I don't want to do a corn maze though. But yeah. Anyways, I digress. So as you clean, you can find just in case items you've been holding on to for emergencies. They just create clutter, so discard them. Also, I've always kept an updated first aid kit in my car and one for my home. Update it, get rid of the rest. And you should really have like a little fire hydrant for your kitchen in case of fires. I don't have one, but I was thinking that I should get one. So I think for next Christmas, if somebody asked me, my wish list will be kitchen fire hydrant. Not fire hydrant. Those, you go shh and you spray it. Extinguisher, fire extinguisher, little hand size one. But, if you've never had that emergency, do you really need it? Okay. They say go for large items first, like furniture. Well, I am doing that part. I need rundown decor, hidden away, get rid of it. If it's broken, get rid of it. I did let go of my grandparents' dining table because it was broken. Smelly rugs. Okay, this was a hard one for me because Persian rugs are expensive, and I did get 2 very gorgeous Persian rugs from my dad when I moved here. But listen, we've had dogs all our lives, and no matter how much I cleaned them, the smell didn't go away, and I feel much less stress. I feel bad, but I asked them if they would be hurt if I did it. They were fine with it. At least I hope they didn't lie about that. But they, you know what? It had a lifetime in their home. They didn't want it anymore, so it's not something I could resell or hawk at a hawk shop because it smelled so bad. Although they looked great. We all took care of them. Again, but topically. But there's no way in that size to shampoo those things. I don't even know where I could take them to be shampooed. So I did roll up and toss 2 big Persian rugs that used to cover my dining room and living room floors. So they're gone. So I can confirm you should do it because that smell is in everything. And you may get used to it, but people come to visit, they may not tell you. It might be why they have reasons why they can't come back to visit again. It's gross for them. So yeah, out they went. Excess magazines. I got rid of all the magazines. The only 2 I'm holding on to are some keto magazines that I borrowed and I'm going to give them back to where I borrowed them from after I finish making a couple more real meat dinner menus with some of the recipes in there that I really like. So then I'm going to give it back. Also, one way I decluttered is instead of buying CDs or DVDs or movies anymore, well, of course I use YouTube for everything now, but back in the days where we used machines to watch those things on actual television, I just rent them all from libraries. Libraries have all this stuff now, so it's for free as long as you give it back before the deadline, which is great. Now, it does say starting off the kitchen because you have to go through the cabinets, and reason why I kept it for last is the reason they're saying do it first. Get rid of anything you keep for the just in case. Get rid of anything that you're keeping for in case you ever have that 12-man dinner party, which you've never had, probably won't. Get rid of everything that doesn't fit in the cabinets. So you're decluttering one cabinet at a time. And I confirmed that's exactly why I'm saving that for last, because to me that's the biggest job. I don't know. Start buying less. So this is part of the Swedish death cleaning. Now that you've gotten rid of stuff, now that you have a place for everything, a container to hold stuff that's held by a container, no empty containers. You don't need them. They're just taking up space. All those boxes I'm going to get rid of once I've determined I don't need to pack anything back into them. They're going to go. You don't need a larger sneaker collection. You don't need a larger high heel collection. And to be honest, I have 2 showcases of all my gorgeous shoes I collected in the years I went back and forth to Europe. Those high heels that I couldn't wear in the north because there were no sidewalks. I may never wear them again in public. I don't know. I might not. But they're so beautiful, I don't want to let them go. I'm giving myself 2 cabinets of them. But one shoe fits on one shelf of the cabinet. So it's not, I don't have 20 shoes. But what I do have, I'm taking very good care of. And I'm burning down what I have. And in the summer I wear flip-flops, so. But I have some dressy sandals in my cabinets. And if anything's smelly, you can't get rid of it, that smell, it's gonna go. If I can't fix the heel, there's one pair of leather shoes from Greece. They're so gorgeous. They're the platform with the linen on the sides, and it has this suede insole part. It feels so nice on your feet. And then it's this crafted leather flowers on the leather straps, and the whole bottom came away from the platform. And I want to save it when I've got the money and get around to it and find a shoemaker who can do it, which harder to find shoemakers these days too in a mall. Not like it used to be. But the glue smells so bad that I have to make myself let it go. And I told myself, since I make costumes, maybe I will separate the leather flowers and sew them onto something else down the road. So maybe I will salvage them that way, because I will maintain my hobby of costume making at some point. So maybe to reuse the leather part and let go of the shoe. Although I love them. I just love them. And so I'm staring at them right now. They're in my feature cabinet. I'm staring at them and deciding. So, but I'm not going to buy more when I already have these. I'm going to burn down everything. I am literally wearing all of my flats and my slip-on sneakers until they literally have holes at the bottom where my bare foot is touching the ground below. And then I toss, and I don't buy replacements. The only thing I did replace this year were my flip-flops, and I went to the dollar store to do it. I don't need Gucci flip-flops. I just need to be able to walk without my feet going into somebody's gum while I walk around a pool. But thinking about buying less, because you can feel overwhelmed when you have too much stuff. And the more things you have, the more things you have to clean. Like, I've been cleaning every single knick-knack. If it's 1 inch big, if it's a centimeter big, anything I put back into one of my rooms, I cleaned it. I even cleaned all the cleaning bottles that were starting to collect dust around the handles. I even washed those. I even washed my soap dispensers and my disinfectant dispensers. Because, look guys, if it's starting to turn gray, that's gross. Get rid of that. Get that out of there. Some warm water and it all comes off really fast. But if your cleaning stuff isn't clean, you're just spreading more germs. So, It doesn't mean you have to stop buying the things that you love, but it's like taking time to rethink your purchase instead of being an impulse purchaser. You don't need a million pairs of shoes. You don't need a million magazines. You don't need a million stuffies, honestly. Just think about it before you pull the plug on that. And discuss the process with your loved ones. So, for example, I know that I wanted to give all of my gold jewelry to my sister because most of my gold jewelry came from my parents and some of it came from our brothers or her. And she feels that that's taking dead man's gold. She doesn't want anything to do with it. But it also upsets her to think of us dying. She's the youngest, and most likely she will outlive me. So, but I mean, is it really outliving being I was alive before she appeared into the world for many years? So, and it hurt me that she didn't want it. And I want to give it to her also because, like me, she's not married. So no one's paying her bills except her. Just like for me, no one's paying my bills except me. And I want to give her a buffer. So if she has to hawk something, I mean, think of all the cultures that dress their brides in gold before they give them away. My friends from India, where all the gold the family had, because that's meltable. That's something that's like you can liquidate it if you're in a bunch and save yourself and not live in squalor or end up on the streets. These are the gifts our family gives us to protect us. Although it's lovely to enjoy in the time, but if you're in a crunch, you don't wanna. But if you have to, you've got something to liquidate. And I'm actually looking at some of my broken jewelry that did not come from my family or came from like cousins and stuff when I was confirmed and things like that. And seeing if I can maybe hawk it where they accept broken jewelry. And no, it depends on how much they're willing to give me for it. Because I would rather have the money to fix them and wear them again, to be honest. But if I had to, if I'm really stuck, I could liquidate it. But by talking to my family about it, I know what they would want or don't want from my home. And I know what their interests are and not interests, what their needs will be for their kids as their kids are growing up and soon to be moving out on their own, making their own way. And I've like offered my art for them. I've offered them like my fridge and stove and stuff like that if they're stuck for it. I've taken very good care of the things that I have. You know, this, I've mentioned my black glass, it's a 3-tier TV table. I'm not going to tell you when I bought it, but when I had my very first job, coming right out of university, bought it with my mom. I mean, it's classic, it's metal and glass, it's gorgeous, and I've taken very good care of it. And I have deassembled it and reassembled it underneath my papasan in the back of my Jeep, and I've moved across the country over and over again. I've lived in almost every province of this country for work and school, and it still looks like the day we bought it. So, I mean, the pieces I have, they're good pieces. So if they want them, they can have it, and I can update myself. And if not, if they don't want it, nobody wants my stuff, eventually strangers are going to get my stuff. That's the creepy part about thinking about mortality. Somebody's going to have our stuff living in our place. I'd rather it be my loved ones. But you know, I'm not going to invest in it. I'm not going to worry about hanging on to something that nobody else wants. If I don't want it, then I can sell it now. And that also lightens the load for me too. And I have been giving pieces of things I have as gifts to people if I know it's something that they would want, something that they liked, and declutter that way too. Something they can have, something they want, and I have one less thing. But I still have enough. I'm actually at the point where I'm grateful that I have enough. I'm thankful to all my family members who passed that saw to it that I could have all that was needed. And now, if I ever come into money and I want to update everything to whatever my taste and style will be by then I can do that and give these away to maybe Habitat for Humanity will take them. I did try to give my dining set to Habitat for Humanity, but because one of the handles needs to be replaced, they didn't want to have it. But maybe eventually I'm going to have to do that too. But I'm not on that room yet. And I have given some of my statues away, and I mean, I collected a lot of art and sculptures and jewelry I've given to my nieces and nephews. And then again, if you have people in your life that you want to invite to do your decluttering journey, maybe they see something that they want that you don't really care so much about anymore, you let them have it. And everybody's happy. And it's also, you go through nostalgia, you go through memories, and if it triggers a bad memory, get rid of it. If it triggers a happy memory, keep it. Pay attention to your emotions, because we're not just deep cleaning to declutter our physical space. There are emotions involved. And that's why there are people who are hoarding. They may be holding on to all the stuff from all the people they ever loved who have passed, and they don't want to let go of that hug, if that makes sense. It's replacing the hug they can't get anymore. So also, I hope in my mentioning that, if you are raising children that are just not letting go of stuff, or you're living with someone who won't let go of stuff, maybe if you can get them talking about how they feel about their stuff, why it's important to them, you can maybe look for solutions for spending more time with them, or having them spend more time with those people, or remembering them in a better way. I know one thing I saw is someone had a lot of shirts, and so what they did was have those shirts of that person who's passed into a quilt that they hung as a tapestry on their wall. You don't have to put a quilt on your bed. Another friend saved all their child's baby clothes, but it was taking up a lot of space, so what they did was they paid a quilter. And you can find, if you know Mennonite Amish people, if you know a living history museum that has Amish or Mennonite groups they sometimes do auctions there to sell their quilts. Sometimes art galleries will have auctions and sell off the quilts, and they'll come in. Get in touch, go to these events, find these people, because what she did was have all his baby clothes turned into a quilt that he could have when he went off to college. Just to hold all the memories in a different way, in a one object instead of a million objects that could be displayed or physically functionally used. That's it. That's my final deep dive on why the deep clean has been so important, and the Swedish death cleaning, which I'm blending the feng shui with the Swedish death cleaning with the practical. I need to breathe air that doesn't make me sick. I don't want to be sick again for 5 weeks like I just was. That's what's just gross. Well, now my lobby's officially cleaned and organized, and all the cupboards there are cleaned and organized. Even my lobby one is cleaned and organized, and I can't believe I found a raft in there. I forgot I bought during COVID. I'll take that with me in my next swim adventure. And well, that's about it, everybody. I've talked to you for a while. This was the biggest, deepest dive that I've done on the deep clean. I hope that some of the information was interesting to you. If you made it this far into the video, thank you. Please like and subscribe if you're not already part of our channel. I'll come up with different things, don't worry. And I'm going to be coming back because I found a room in the house that I think we need to explore in a different way. And I'll be honest, I'm feeling like I might do some organizing, but I'm not going to be doing any more deep cleaning today because I'm at a standstill, and I might invite my bestie to come up and tell me what to do about where to put my key furniture. That, I'm going to pull Magnus in here. So, Tishy Adams, if you can hear me, Magnus, if you can hear me, you're going to be getting phone calls. I won't make you move anything for me, but I just need to look at the space and tell me whether it's good or not, or leave it or what, because my living room right now is feeling very odd and very bare. I'm not sure what to do. I may be selling some stuff. I don't know. We'll find out. I'm gonna switch to declutter mode after this. I'm gonna put my mail away. I'm gonna go get some painting done, and I'm gonna I think I've dusted almost everything in here. A little more dusting, and a little more Swiffering, and that's it. So that's all she wrote. I'm gonna get up to some hijinks now, everybody. Tonight is gamer night. Ooh, and it's already 5:30 Eastern Time. I'm gonna get out of my little corset here, my maid costume. I'm gonna free myself up. And thank you for listening. Thank you for being in my community. And if you're not, please join us. Thank you to everybody who's recently joined us. Welcome in. Don't worry, I'm not always a maid. It's just I am a slayer and a gamer girl, and break out all my leather and my and my steel tonight. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. And for those of you who use me as white noise in the background while you try to get your studying done or fall asleep, thank you. I hope you're having a restful day. It's gorgeous out there. Take some time. Go look at the sun. Let it look at you. Oh, here I go.